Hello everyone, it is player rankings time. It was Crystal Palace 1, Liverpool 2, and I need your help to work out where all of Liverpool's players from today rank in terms of boss, sound, or you're messing. It's as simple as that. We're going to go through from the goalkeeper all the way through to the substitutes, from back to front. So yeah, if you want to put the player's name and then just boss, sound, or you're messing in the comment section, you can do absolutely that. We're going to start with Alisson Becker, back from injury, back in the team, and back bang on the top of the boss board because, yeah, amazing. Like 2 saves in that game that are goals. They're just goals. I think the first one is one of those that kind of like, because of the nature of it, it's quite central, but it's 100% the kind of save that Alisson makes for his positions. Great, he's huge. And I talked about it with Kelleher. There's just, sometimes he feels just a little smaller and more porous and whatever. Alisson just feels like a moving, mobile wall. He's like one of those human riot shields. You know, in 300, where, you know, the soldiers all gather together with their shields, he's all of the 300. Amazing, you know, and look, we're going to need to keep him fit. He's a difference maker, and you know how many points has he won us already this season? Absolutely magic. Algebroy in the comments here says Alisson gets a 200 out of 10. 2 worldies. Yeah, he and look, the save at the death. Anderson gets free at the back post, might have been pulled back for offside, who cares at this point, but he gets down low, makes that save. There's 2 saves, there's 3 points, and it's all because, you know, well, not all because of Alisson Becker, but there's a list of players, and I think they're probably all going to end up on this top row here, who can hold their heads up and say, you know, if you had to have a trophy for the 3 points, everyone who's lifting it is the people who've really contributed towards it, and he'll be one of them, without a doubt. Right, let's do the defence. Let's start at left back. Costas. Thought Costas was sound. Thought it was another good performance from him. I certainly don't think he was worse than that. I think you maybe make a case that he was a little bit higher than on there if you really wanted to. Thought functionally he was good. I thought there is a case to be made that he's out of position for their goal, but then that's how Liverpool play. You know, the fullbacks are up the pitch, it breaks down, and when it breaks down, you've got to get other men have got to help out, and Costas gets back there. I thought he had a sound performance. Andrew Walker says I'd have him as a low sound. Costas was poor, says Bear. Was he? Did anyone else think he was poor? I don't think he was poor. No, I really don't think. Angela's saying solid 6.5 out of 10. Yeah, I said he was a 7, to be honest. I thought he was fine. He's just, yeah, I think he's a fine footballer. He's doing a decent job for us. Virgil van Dijk, let me find the skipper. What do we think? I'm going to put him there. In sound, but not as like... I mean, actually, I just thought he was great all game long, as ever. How often did the ball just come towards him? And then he just dealt with it. Absolutely dealt with it. Amber, you just airdropped that to me. And then when he was called upon, he led the team really well. He got the ball moving quickly, didn't settle for it. Really good. Mr. J Mango says Van Dijk up a sound, but I can 100% understand boss. Yeah, I think I agree with that. I think I'll put him here for now, actually. I'm going to put him in that little gap. But in doing so, I'll probably knock Costas down a touch just for space saving. I'm going to put Alisson somewhere in between there, because I think Alisson's already at the top. Virgil's somewhere in between. Boss and sound for the moment, even though I thought he was great, and I think that might be contextually. I'm anticipating what else I'm going to do here, but I'll come back to that. Bear actually says border with boss/sound. Knocky Knock says boss. He's a born leader. Virgil just did his job, says Surfer. Didn't do great or bad. See, yeah, I suppose that's where people come into this thing. Is like, was he just doing his job? Or was he doing his job well? I think he was doing his job well. Janelle Kwanzaa. Tricky one for him. Probably ultimately, because of the penalty decision, I've got to put him in the lower half of sound, down into your messing. I thought he was okay. I saw a number of people saying he played Endo into trouble a couple of times, but also I can think of one pass that he did. I may be wrong. Maybe I'll need to rewatch this. But I think some of it is just, it's also Endo's problem. He's not great with his back to play. I said it's getting better, and this goes back to the Leicester City League Cup game. I was up in the main stand where you get a really great view of the pitch. Terrible atmosphere. Lots of people who seem to want to get up and buy a drink, during the game, or go for a piss. But he doesn't scan brilliantly. He always seems to want to figure out where the ball's going to move once he's received it, and that's why I think McAllister's been playing lots more there, because as much as McAllister's not a nailed on number 6, he's such a good all-round technical footballer that he's got a better vision of the pitch, I think. It's why Lallana ends up playing games in the 6 for us. He's very good close control, very good under pressure. And also it does make me question. That's my one issue with Endo, because I think generally speaking he's all right. But in fact, I'll tie Endo in, even though we're jumping ahead a little bit. I actually thought Endo was probably down here as well. And again, not bad, but he's not. I just don't think he's good enough for what we need in certain games, and that's the problem. Some footballers are so good that there becomes types of football matches where you're like, well, what game is he not suitable for? So just to digress, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he used to play. Joe Gomez used to play right back in the big games, so like away at the Nou Camp. Joe Gomez would start against the teams that we considered to be good or better than us, and then Trent would dominate the rest. But then Trent became so good that you're like, well, hang on. You need someone who's really good on the ball, because when you're playing good teams, when you're playing bad teams, you need to just beat them. You need to dominate. You can have loads of the ball and you need geniuses on the ball to make things happen. But then when you're playing the really good teams, it's small margins, so you don't get as much of the ball, so you need someone who can create something out of nothing in tight situations. Endo's, I think he's fine, by the way, and it's almost like a non-story for me. I think he's an absolutely fine footballer at Liverpool. I like him. What he's good at, I really like, and I've been quietly impressed with him this season. But I think we needed a more mobile, quicker on the ball, more creative number 6. And even I don't think Trent was great in doing that. In fact, we'll do Trent. I thought Trent was sound today, after doing some really heroic stuff in the last couple of weeks. But yeah, it's that's a tricky sort of situation there. That's where we're at. We're fine, because at the moment, and let's do Quansah and Endo in a much broader sense. We're playing League Cup football and Europa League football away from the Prem, and then of course you've got a few of those teams, those sort of bottom 4 teams in the Premier League, who are absolutely arse, who are championship quality football teams. Where those guys are more than good enough to play in those games. I'm not sure if Liverpool playing Champions League football and then challenging for a Premier League title, that they would be fine. Quansah's only 20, so I'm fine with Quansah putting in okay performances for us. But Endo's he's just fine. He's absolutely fine. It's a lot of chat. I didn't expect to go so deep on that, to be honest. But I felt a bit sorry for Quansah, because a lot of eyes on him at the moment because of Matip's injury. If he plays, and we can get through games with him in, and it means that Kanate doesn't have to play as much and Gomez doesn't have to play as much, then that's useful. That's what Nat Phillips was for us, and Nat Phillips was an absolutely fine centre-half, but I think Quansah can be better than that, to be honest. The rest of the midfield, I'll do Gravenberch and Szoboszlai together. I thought Sobo didn't have a particularly good game. In fact, I thought he was probably down here as well. Gravenberch I thought was fractionally better. I'm going to put him in the sound category. Just thought it was a midfield performance. As ever with Gravenberch, he's better in first halves than he is in seconds. But you're generally fine. Luis Diaz, real pity. I'll put him in sound as well. He is offside for the finish that he takes. I thought he worked really hard for the team. Maybe actually I'm going to edge him down here a little bit more towards the bottom of that. And I'm going to do is, even though he scores the 200th goal, I'm going to put Salah in there as well, because I thought he had a poor game. And unfortunately, Darwin Núñez, it's not entirely all his fault. So look, it's not a mark on what I think of him as his overall level as a footballer. But Darwin Núñez, it just wasn't the game for him, so therefore he's in the bottom tier of performers. He doesn't get a sniff all game long. Doesn't get a sniff. Yeah, Bear there says Nunes was rubbish today. Craig Flynn says Diaz was sound. Mr. J Mango says Diaz has been poor for a while. We really miss Jota. Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's just been fine. I mean, Diaz has cropped up with some important goals in that time as well, which is a very Jota thing to do, by the way. I'd like to see Diaz get closer to the box. I'd like to see him making those runs in behind. I think he can do the Mane role. I just don't. I wonder whether we're just not asking him to, or because of the function of the centre forward Nunes and the left 8, which was Gravenberch today, who probably was a little bit lower than that, to be fair. But it's making it hard for Diaz, I think, to flourish, because we've seen it, that goal out to in, making those runs in behind. He's got a great ethical. He's very composed when he gets his chance to shoot. So yeah, but yeah, Nunes for me, probably the worst player on the pitch for us all told, probably. And not really entirely of his making, just the nature of the game. Okay, let's do the subs. I thought Gakpo was absolutely sound when he came on. Not vintage, but actually he held the ball up really well. He got into dangerous areas. He tried to link the front three. He made us more threatening for being in and around there. Ibu Konate, thought he was a bit crap, to be honest. And again, it's the lack of Joel Matip. I said it in commentary, he's not smooth. So he takes 2 touches to do something that Matip takes 1 touch. I think his all-round defensive stuff is absolutely brilliant. And I wonder a little bit why, if that was maybe why Quansah was picked over him, because Quansah's actually a bit, I think he's just a bit of a, he's a bit of a silkier footballer, isn't he? Jay Mango says, Konate was horrendous. Gakpo better today, says Lee Wizkid. Christos says, I think Diaz was still our most dangerous attacker all game. Not saying much, but yeah. Yeah, and Jay Pearson with a wonderful, allow me to wonderfully segue. Mo Salah is one of our greatest signings of all time, yeah. If you want to know definitively who Liverpool's greatest ever signing is, then check out our Christmas special on redmenplus.com, the 50 greatest signings of Liverpool of all time. It's a mixed bag of eras in there, but yeah, join Redmen Plus and get that on Christmas to keep you away from any family doing your heads in. Right, let's carry on. Curtis Jones, thought was absolutely sound. Intelligent use of the ball, held on to it, bought fouls when he needed to. Functionally, I just think he suits that left side of 8 more than Gravenberch, although I think Gravenberch might be a better player, maybe. Is that mad? I just think it's just because he understands it better. Now, do these. My last 2 players here to go through: Joe Gomez and Harvey Elliot. Joe Gomez, in fact, let's go what we've got. Jones was sound, says Craig Flynn. Mango saying more like himself. Lee Wizkid, though, says Gomez was boss. And Danny H. Fitness saying, I prefer Gomez as right back than centre back. At the moment I've been saying this, footy's changed again a little bit. Gomez does what Ben White does for Arsenal, and he does it really, really well. He's a good physique. He's not too tall, so he's not like really cumbersome. He's fast, he's good on the ball, he's composed. He's got a good engine on him as well, and he just gets up and down. I think he's a really good right back, Joe Gomez. So I thought Joe Gomez was brilliant today. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I kind of alluded to it. Moving Trent to midfield was supposed to be the thing that made us play better, but it kind of did by allowing Joe Gomez to play at right back and have a better, more traditional up and down, width providing right back. Don't ask him to invert, just ask him to get up and down and provide a great outball for us, and not like in those situations where we've got 3 men congested on the right hand side and it's a little give and go, and then you're playing like a ball into a static defensive line and they're just eating it up with headers. Get Gomez flying down the wing. That one where he beat his man, where he stood him up and then dropped the shoulder and went past him and got to the byline. Absolutely brilliant. Joe Gomez thought he was excellent, and I think he's been excellent this season. And the other one, Harvey Elliot, Starboy. Those 3 I'm going to put as the main men. I'm going to put them right up at the top. Harvey Elliot, probably, you know what, he scored the goal. You can go right at the top. He just needed to be on the pitch for longer to have more of an impact, if I'm being honest. But the impact that he did have was brilliant. I love Harvey Elliot. I think he's great. I think he's absolutely great. Demolition Rob. Elliot is the Webster's Dictionary definition of boss. Andrew Walker. Elliot was boss. Great goal. Both boss, says Zoa. Bear. Elliot won the game for us with Alisson, but if Elliot and Gakpo hadn't come on, we would not have won. Yeah. Absolutely. Michaela Perkins, Elliot boss, absolute super sub, and what a goal. And Surfer Willie says, Gomez, I hope you see this. You played well. Keep your head up. Brilliant. Little pat on the back for Joe Gomez. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Who was the man of the match? Oof. I think my man of the match was Joe Gomez. I'm going to give it to Joe, and that's a really big enough. Go on. Yes. That looks precarious. Elliot, lots of shout for Elliot in man of the match here. Lee Wizkid. Alisson, says Cheyenne there. Ain't nobody like Joe Gomez. Alisson for me, I think, says Danny. Elliot man of the match because he changed the game. Rob, Gomez. Alisson. Yeah, I mean, wow. Yeah, too many sounds, says Mikey J. You're probably right, mate, but ultimately I'm a glass half full kind of guy. Yeah, honestly, any three of them, they could have a collective man of the match, but I think for the transformative effect on the all-round performance, from half-time onwards, Joe Gomez was just brilliant for us. I thought he was a really outstanding performance. Elliot, again, I could easily give it, I'm going to put it there. I'm going to put it there, so in the fullness of time, we won't be able to tell what the difference was of who actually got man of the match, but I'm giving it to Joe Gomez. But please feel free to let me know in the comments if you thought it was Elliot, who should have it as well. Okay, sound. Thank you so much. Before we go, do you like this Christmas jumper I'm wearing? Look at that Christmas sweatshirt. It's a bit of Trent goodness. There's 5 days left to have guaranteed UK delivery on one of these over on redmenmerch.com. If you head over to there, you can have a little look at the full range as well. There's Trent, there's Dom, there's 7-0, yes. There's Nunes, there's Copite singing, there's the retro styled one as well. And that is a knitted Christmas jumper, a proper jumper, and it is available. That's limited sizes, so go and check that you fit one of those ones and grab one. Grab one indeed. Yeah, UK 14th of December, final guaranteed delivery date for that. Yes, 3 points. The 3 fixtures where we looked at went, Liverpool need to get 9 from 9 from them. Well, you know what? They've got 9 from 9. Was it easy? No. Was it enjoyable? For the vast majority, no, but ultimately, yes. 3 incredibly topsy-turvy, wild, fun, interesting, mad, memorable games for Liverpool. The top of the table for now. Will it happen? Will they stay there? We'll find out in due course. But yeah, right now, Liverpool are very much where they want to be. Top of the league, top of the pile, and at very least in contention, and that's boss. Drop a like, check out all that stuff, and have a boss rest of your weekend. Ta-ra.
Thank you so very much for checking out the video. If you enjoyed it, drop a like. The season is now well underway. If you need extra Redmen content, be it podcast, videos, documentaries, interviews, and general shows, fill your boots